The gift, it seems to me, that charismatics tend to be obsessed with. You know, if you haven't received the gift of tongues, then you haven't really been filled with the Holy Spirit.
Well, I think that's what launched the movement. I suppose if they'd come up with something else, that maybe that would have been it. But I actually think that's the easiest one to falsify in an ignorant environment. So when you've got Charles Fox Parham saying that Agnes Osmond stands up and is speaking in Chinese and nobody in the room knows Chinese, they're all, wow, look at this, you know, we're hearing Chinese, and there's not a Chinese person in the building. It's an easy thing to falsify because it's nonsense. Also is an easy thing to sort of double falsify with a false interpretation because nobody knows what the person is saying. It's learned behavior. And if you listen to them, you know, they're saying what they've heard from somebody else, and it has a kind of staccato, and it kind of works together. As one guy that I heard many years ago said, it's as simple as saying, Bata, Honda, Shoda Bata, Yamaha. You know, I mean, it's a kind of, I don't know if you say that really fast, Bata, Honda, Shoda Bata, Yamaha. You know, whoa, you know, that. It's very easy to falsify. You can't falsify a miracle. You can't falsify anything as easily as you can falsify that, and everybody can talk in gibberish. So I think that's what started the movement. And you do remember, Phil, that in the early years of that movement, they attached the arrival of the Holy Spirit in the life of the believer to that experience.
Right.
So that became the foundational kind of identifying mark of the baptism of the Holy Spirit. And once that got embedded in the movement, it stuck. And again, it's easy to fabricate. There, people in crowds like this all stand up and speak that kind of gibberish, and they get away with it because there's no way to measure the reality of it. Do you remember what Charles Fox Parham did? He started sending people to the mission field and said they don't need to learn language. And they all arrived in the mission field and said, we're here, and we can speak the language supernaturally. And of course, the whole thing collapsed in a massive, embarrassing scam because they couldn't. We know that what they say is not any language at all. And so now the shift has been made that this is not a language, this is a private prayer language. And they call it the tongues of angels, twisting the interpretation of 1 Corinthians 13, the tongues of angels. And then they come back, and they've said this to me many times, you're blaspheming the Holy Spirit if you deny us this.